Hi, good evening, everyone, and thank you so much for joining in the session. And I hope I am audible and clear. And also, if you can check, our chats are open for you. Maybe you can confirm there, or maybe raise hands and confirm. Yes, thank you, Varun. So before we start in, let me just introduce our speaker to you. So a really warm welcome to everybody to this new edition of Amrit Kal Mentor Talk. So Amrit Kal Mentor Talk is a flagship initiative by Mentor Cloud. And the idea here is to help the students bring in with some of the best industry leaders who have not only built successful careers but also helped shape the cultures and also the future. And today we have with us Geeta Murthy. She is an independent HR advisor, and she has been an accomplished HR with almost 27 plus years of expertise in HR transformation, a strategic resource person for developing leaders, managing talent, and also driving organizational change. And she has successfully guided leadership terms through some of the seamless cultural integration, policy harmonization, and also transformation during the multiple acquisitions, and adept fostering high performance cultures through structured talent management. And she has worked along capability building programs and also executive coaching. And currently she is an independent HR consultant. She's also a certified mentor with Thrive and mentoring for a global NGO. She is like a resource person for developing leaders, individual contributors, and also teams through customization learning journeys. And if we talk more about her capabilities as an independent HR resource, it also includes serving as an external auditor for the HR department, audit processing and the policies. Also, she handles some of the transformation of conventional HR PMS into system driven processing. And she also coaches leaders and the first line managers to ensure consistency in messaging during the performance managing cycles. And lastly, like she is currently a trainer as needed on topics in soft skills and life skills for leaders across the functions, as today she is for us. And she is being a panelist in many discussions conducted by prestigious HR forums, and some of the many colleges and universities have invited her for guest lectures and sessions, and conducting vivas for MBA students, and also delivering campus to corporate employability sessions, which is some of the things which she's contributing to uh, us. And today she joins us to share some real world insights on what truly matters in the early careers and beyond degrees and marks, and also what one can expect in the first 2 years of what will actually help in you in the next 20 years. So thank you so much, Geeta, for joining us again through our pod and also Amritkal initiative. And over to you, Geeta.
Thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. I hope all of you are doing very well. Thank you, Mentor Cloud, first of all, and Pod AI for hosting me. And it's an honor for me and a pleasure, privilege to feature in the series from Mentor Cloud. I like telling stories. So today it is going to be something from my personal life. And Riddhi, while I narrate my story, I want you to run a poll on that audience. Please participate so that, I will know how many of you are students and how many of you are early career people. Yeah. So while the poll is on, let me first tell you my story. When I look back, my career journey, it is in across like functions, roles, industries. You take journalism, public relations, HR. So you see, it's all about shifting in careers. Like I switched lines, changed roles, companies, big, small, industries. So with all these changes, what comes along is uncertainty, isn't it? I'm not alone. Everyone has uncertainty. So in this uncertainty, what I did was I managed the uncertainty very well. Meaning, I did some correct decisions because I managed this uncertainty. When I say I managed this uncertainty right and I made correct decisions, you may wonder what is it that I have done with journalism, public relation, HR. The one major thing I want to inform you all is that I did take all these jobs by choice. It's not by chance. Take it any of these 3 jobs that I have done in multiple organizations. I have done it by choice. So when I do it by choice, what happens is I start learning, right? And then I realize that I am developing some habits that are transforming into behaviors at workplace. So if you ask me what is this, that I managed to interconnect all these career shifts that I have done consciously, I can say that journalism, public relations, I used all this as tools in human resource function. So the changes that has happened in my career, I applied them. I consciously, intentionally made sure that I get into HR function for the last 2 decades plus. So if you are asking me whether I knew what I should do in the first 2-3 years and was it wrong for me to take journalism? Was it right to take public relations? And why HR? The only answer I have is I am one of those lucky people who got a job in whatever I was studying. So every time I study, I used to do the relevant job. In such a way, I realized in few years that my passion is people and I have to connect with people. And the rest of my career, last 2-3 years, in my beginning was connecting me with everything like visibility, of course, broadcasting and writing, print media, electronic media, people, customers, clients. But my heart and soul, it was not letting me think that that's where I want to go. Then I realized I'm very passionate about people, and that's how I made a conscious decision to take up human resources as my career, and there rest of it is history. I am now walking, talking human resources. So if you have uncertainties or if you have any thoughts in your mind, am I in the right job? Is this first job right one? Or on the flip side, are you really very obsessed with your first job? Either way, I would tell you that don't get to feel paranoid about not getting those answers. It's fine if you don't get answers, right? You can switch lines and then come back again saying that, oh, it didn't work. So let me come back to what I belong to. So what you do is consciously you're building your behaviors. These are default behaviors. So the essence of my story is that I built these behaviors and I have learned. These learnings, I will tell you, is what behaviors at workplace will provide to us. For example, I have in my career, in the whatever behaviors I've developed, is traveling with me. Even today, I am traveling with the behaviors that I have built. So one major learning I can share with you is I learned what is good work, what is first of all, what is work, then what is good work. Then I came to know what exactly is hard work and what amount of efforts is enough to say that it is hard work. So the entire thing the early journey has taught me to analyze and say, okay, learning is must, and how you decipher the journey to take you through to the next level is what you need to build. I will share an example to end the story, I'll share an example about 2 set of people when we were doing campus hiring. So Of course, I'll not take a set of people. I'll take just two resources whom we hired in one of the organizations, because it's easy for you to understand what and where I'm coming from. One is a person who will just do what that person is asked to do. Just be quiet. Don't even ask for feedback. What should I do? That is the question the person would ask. Secondly, the second person, that person would say, what are we building? Like, what are we going to deliver? And what is the timeline enough for us? What solution will be making the customer feel happy? Such questions, the right questions, the second person would ask. And mind you, these two people whom I'm referring to, they are coming from the same college, they came with the same compensation, academic track record is same, and luckily or unluckily, they were in the same project, they were in the same team. Having said all that, after a few years, when you look at these two people, just guess what is happening with their lives. One is not asking questions, not even asking feedback, very happy each day, end of the day, delivery is done and no negative remarks, so happy, end of the day. Another one, curious to know what else should we do and what are the tasks lined up for tomorrow. Should I do some homework well in advance? All these thought process happens in the second person. And after a few years, if you look at these two people, the first person is an amazing executor of work. First person is like executing work amazingly. The second person is leading projects. Yeah. So what do you understand from this? So the first impressions are very important. They are very lasting, right? I'm not saying that first impression is best impression and all that. It is very important that it is lasting. And to make this lasting impressions, you have to have the right behavior, the right habits. So if you believe that working hard is enough and performance ratings are the ones that will give you the raise in the salary, and that is what is your philosophy, then you're not going anywhere. You'll be a great resource for sure. You'll be getting rewards, awards, etc. However, the next line manager or the leaders, you'll not get noticed and you'll not be there in the list where they want to, assign some responsibilities addition to your tasks that you're doing. So all said and done, what is that you're doing is you have to do something beyond your project. To make some lasting impressions, you have to do something beyond your projects. Ask the right questions. Don't let your curiosity ask wrong questions. It doesn't matter what money the company is making, if the project is, in the P&L of the company or not. That is all absurd. That is not the questions that makes your curiosity alive. Ask the right questions about what you're building and research about, is there anything that technologically can you, enhance the result? Do all this. So if you do all this becomes your early career behaviors. These are called the early career behaviors. I'm going to mostly touch on the behaviors today because, expertise is something that you will learn. It's not going to be something like a rocket science. Technological changes are, too much today, and not even today, way back also. All that you do is stay relevant. You become updating your skills. You'll ensure that you're reskilling. Sometimes you'll attend some refreshers. All this you'll do so that you will be updated and relevant in the industry, first of all, leave alone the work that you're in the organization. So all what you need to do is come up with competencies and capabilities and skills that form a part of your behavior. When you consider the expertise. You have to make sure that it is along with the behavior, the attitude that you have, the right question. You have to show up properly, like you speak up. Speak up means ask right questions. You speak up, you show up. Show up in the sense, be on time every time. And then, of course, when someone needs an additional support or help technically or personally, show up there, be there, stand up with them, stand up for yourself. If you do all this, what happens? You build some credibility in the organization or in the team. This credibility will become a positive, you'll come across as a very positive, dependable resource, right? So when you do all this, obviously your confidence level will increase. Your confidence level will make you also feel that you'll feel good, first of all. Then can it come in a day or two? I'll certainly say no. I will ask you to please practice it. Because expertise also you need to practice. You just don't like learn and be done with it, isn't it? You will think about it and you'll see, am I learning the right thing? Am I up to date? Go in these subject matter expert sessions and you'll know, okay, I'm good. My learning capabilities are, helping me in my work. Along with that, ensure that all what I said just now, you must practice. And by practicing, I mean it's just not at work, even at home. I strongly believe whatever we do at home, we do at work. Whatever we do at work, we do at home. And trust me when I say this, I never preach if I didn't practice it. If I preach only, I'll practice, then only I'll preach. And all the examples that I'm citing here are real examples. They are not out of any whatever, right? It's authentic. It's genuinely related to what went on in my journey. When I say all this, mistakes, yeah, everybody makes mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes. And to be specific to this talk, I will go to only one or two mistakes that are very, very, common, but it will impact the journey in a wrong way, in a negative way. Other mistakes we can sort out, we can fix. So I'm not going to deal with those mistakes because mistakes everyone does. What will cost us in our career, we should avoid. Those are the two mistakes that I will highlight so that it will not cost our career, right? Especially in the first few years of our career, we are very, very prone to be in our comfort zone. I've seen so many people in their early career, they are so much in their comfort zones. What do I mean by comfort zones? They are experts in delivering on time. They are, if you ask the quality people and their feedback, it will be like first time right candidates, like their employees. They do everything perfectly well. And then these are set of people who, why I'm saying comfort zone is, they don't want to expand their horizon of work. They don't want to ask for feedback, meaning they'll ask for feedback maybe term when it ends or during the performance appraisals and come up with a surprise. Oh no, I am doing so well, but I've got such bad ratings and my hike is not at all, I'm not happy with my hike. So why haven't you asked early feedbacks then, right? So from this comfort zone, what you should do is you should take up challenges that are not comfortable. Okay, you should do something, I won't say out of the box, but at least do something in creativity, in innovation. Participate in all this, volunteer in all these CSR activities, right? Make time for all this beyond your project. Don't be comfortable with what you're doing. You're earning and you're going to the next level. Don't be comfortable there. Start challenging yourself, raise your bar. When I say raise your bar, I mean the performance bar, right? So I'll just tell you what is the meaning of taking challenges and something that is uncomfortable. I have done something that's scary also. I'll give you an example again from my own side. There was a job that,
Can I stop you at once? Should I keep running the poll
yes,
or can I stop it?
stop it. You can stop it. I
Yeah.
just want to understand the number. How many? Eighty-six. Right. Okay, so the major ones are first year students, right? Okay, done. So this will become more meaningful for people who are starting their career, because I see 86% of you in the audience are those in their first year, second year, going to campus, from campus to corporate audience. So fine, I will, focus on talking only the points that will be relevant to you and meaningful to you. However, the mistake I'm saying is it will apply to the people who are in the audience. Because if you learn about it today, right from day one in your first job, you'll ensure that you'll not make this mistake. So coming back, I was talking about the challenges that I took to come out of my comfort zone. The challenges are such that they made me uncomfortable sometimes, discomfort sometimes, scary sometimes. So I was in a job which involved a lot of field work, long commutes, everything. So I challenged myself in such a way that I will drive a two-wheeler. First of all, I didn't even know how to ride a cycle. But I decided I want this job. I learned the two-wheeler. I challenged the person who was hiring me, saying, I will come with a driving license, and if that is okay, will you give me the job? And the person who was hiring me was so confident, where this frail little girl will come and with the two-wheeler license. I was so adamant and determined with what I should do. I took up that challenge on a positive side, and I learned, job or no job, let me learn two-wheeler. And those days that we didn't have this, energy vehicles, and we didn't have this self-starter and all. We had the kickstart. So every time in the middle of the road, sometimes I had to take it to the side of the road because it would stop. And every time I had to kickstart it, it was so difficult for me. And those passers-by who would stop by, I would simply say, I'll handle it. And I'll make sure I'll handle it. I'll travel in the, so I got the job. I was meeting a lot of clients and all. And that vehicle had, I don't know what automobile engineering that is, but the vehicle had an engine that gets hot so soon. And the number of kilometers I was doing, it was getting piping hot. And sometimes whenever I had to slow down, I put my one of the leg down, it will scorch. Like I'll get a horrible wound in my limb. And the attire that I was wearing, the next day it would hurt even more, because it will rub through the wound. I didn't give up. I said, I am going to use the same vehicle and I am going to perform. I am not going to defer my tasks. This is what I meant by, even if it is scary, even if it is like discomfort, right? Take it up. This is what I mean by coming out of the comfort zone. Sorry. The next one is avoiding. I'm so sorry. Avoiding another major mistake. All of you who are in the who are in the college, what you'll do is, let us perform our tasks. Let us not ask whether the progress is on the right track or not. Because scared of, what the feedback would come and how many hours you have to rework. So that makes you feel quiet and you will not ask any early feedback. By early feedback, I mean stage by stage you ask feedback so that you will not have to rework and waste your energy. And it will also impact the business, because if you do rework, then its submissions will get delayed. So ensure that you will come out of this fear of asking early feedback. For example, you will always face in the first few years of your career, even in your college days, I think there will be some professors, lecturers who will correct you immediately. When you're making mistakes, they'll correct you then and there. I'm sure if you raise your hand, I'll know how many of you would have faced this. Similarly, at work environment also, the leads or the managers who are well-wishers, which when we are in our early careers, we won't know they are our well-wishers. So we take it in a very demotivating factor. We complain. We don't we don't attach any importance to the corrections they are telling us. So all this, when the manager or the lead feel it, then what they'll do, they'll stop. They'll not tell. In the bargain, what is happening to the person who is not asking feedback? The raise or the hike or the recognition is not there, and it comes as a surprise, which is very bad. So if someone stops telling you or correcting you in between, we stop to learn. We think we are doing the best. We will stop to actually understand where are the improvement areas. So think of the second person. Think what that person would have done. That person would have asked after a week, or when they submit their first review, the person will ask, am I in the right track? Are there any places where I have to rework so that it will save your time? Can I do something more extra to save time? So the second person would have asked all this. What is it that they are asking? That they are asking on early feedback. So see the major difference between how to not make mistakes, right? If you do make mistakes, ensure that you correct it. And unless you get early feedback, you can't correct your mistakes. So it's inevitable. Even today, I can make mistakes, right? It's very inevitable. What I want to stress here is don't repeat those mistakes. What I want to repeat here is you make mistakes, but you fix them, you correct them, and don't repeat them. Learn from them. I've made mistakes, but I've learned from them. So for just when Riddhi was talking to me before the webinar, I was just telling her that best lesson I learned recently is when I use Mac for typing, my speed is very less. All the while I was using Windows, and I was so confident about my time management. But when I used my Mac, I realized that I made a mistake by using Mac, and that's my personal mistake. It's nothing to do with anything. So what I meant to share is, like, we learn from our mistakes. It's not that. So what is this learning? Is it working for us? What is working for us? What should we do to make it work for us? So students, I'm telling you, what is this learning I'm talking about is learning from the mistakes. What you have to do is, are you learning? What are you learning? What is it that you need to fix? What is it that you need to relearn, unlearn, whatever? And then what is it that you need to not repeat? So make sure that you do all this so that you build some resilience, and the organization will recognize you as a resource, because they think that once you become a dependable resource, when you showcase your capabilities along with your behaviors that are very good, and very confident, these will help the organizations to recognize you as a dependable resource. Okay. So having, now let us say, what is it that is being future ready? Like 2 years to 20 years, that is the topic, isn't it? So first 2 years, I told you what we need to learn, what we need to build habits to behaviors. I also told you, like, we make mistakes, but what should you do to, fix it and learn from those mistakes, right? Now we'll talk about how to be future ready. First of all, you're not in your first jobs, right? So when you are not in your first jobs, if meaning of future ready is very, very important, more than the people who are in their first jobs. Ask me why. It's because you are thinking ahead of those who are in the same race as you are in to get the jobs. So many of you will think that the first jobs, where are they? I'm applying, no reply. Am I that bad that I'm not getting even an interview call? So this set of questions in your mind should be erased by thinking ahead and preparing yourself for the future. These thoughts are negative. You should not think about that. If you ask me, is your first job the right job? Well, it may not be the right job, but you learn from it. And there was an instance, instance in one of my organizations where they were people in the first few years of career. So two of them came up with the same question, different day. Same question they asked. I am applying for this post. I know that it's not the right post for me, but I want to grow internally. I want to see how it works for me so that either I stick to that or I'll come back to what I'm doing. Is that the right choice that I am making? Should I even attempt to do this? I said, please go ahead. Please attempt it. You go ahead and do the next job that is not going to showcase your first domain. It's fine. When you apply for the next job and there is a question asking you, why did you do that job and why are you coming here? Tell like what I told. I tried what will work for me and I realized that my passion is more here, and I look forward to a company like yours where you will nurture such talent. Like, you sound confident, but don't sound overconfident. So when I talk about future readiness, what I mean is I want you to ask yourself in this technological, fast-based, changing environments, organizational changes, leadership changes, and culture changes. So in all this changes that are happening, tell me, these are all some things that are not in our control. So if you have to survive in such environment, then forward thinking is what I mean by future readiness. None of the points that I told you are something in our control. So in order to survive in such environments, we need to be future ready, meaning it can be upskilling, it can be reskilling. Those are all capabilities that we talked about. That's fine, but you have to scale up for sure. And organizations have to scale up. So whatever is not in our control, let us not bother about it. What is more important is, what I mean is, by forward thinking, I mean, be very adaptable, adopt to changes. For example, when your teams are changing or when leadership is changing, don't be obsessed with one type of leadership and don't get paranoid with the changes. Just say that, okay, I'm going to adapt first. And then you adopt to the changes. Meaning, when you adapt, you'll start learning. And when you learn, you'll adopt to that. So when you do all this, what will happen is you become curious, right? You become curious and you'll ask the right questions. And then by being adaptable, what you'll do is the processes, you'll make sure that you're adapting to the processes. You learn the process, right? And the most favorite of mine is discipline. By future readiness, I want the discipline also to come in the list of capabilities, right? So when you are showcasing your discipline, when you are showcasing all these, what I told you, you will earn the trust, and also you will become reliable, if that's a simpler word for you. And when you become reliable, when you are becoming trustworthy, what happens is you need to maintain it. You need to be consistent in what you're doing. So you'll learn to communicate well. You will communicate effectively also. You'll ensure that you apply what you're learning, right? And then what you'll do is you'll do some self analysis, right? This is something to do with self-awareness. Yeah. So the future thinking, what I mean is putting importance to self-awareness. It's nothing but just a self-analysis, if in simple English. So it is very important to be aware of what we are consciously. It's very important to know and be aware of what we are perceived as, right? How are they looking at us? Not as in looking, but how are we perceived, like a person who treats everyone alike, equal, a person who steps up when something is needed, or like a person who will stand up for themselves and also for others. So these are some things that I am mentioning as how people perceive you when you're at work or when you're outside also. So these are the behaviors that you need to practice, how you come across. So this comes out of practice. And most importantly, you have to understand what is triggering this negative impact, right? What is demotivating you? What is not allowing you to do this forward thinking? You should be very well aware of how and what triggers these emotions. And by self-awareness, I also mean that you have to concentrate on the emotions, how you handle emotions at work, at college, even at home. So what does it mean? It means that you will not react when there is pressure. You will only respond. You see what I'm saying? Reacting is negative. Responding is, okay, you're analyzing, you're thinking, you're giving it a good thought, and then you're coming up with something that either will be a solution or someone will come up with a solution. So the self-awareness is very important capability. It's an important skill that you need to develop. And what I like most is about self-awareness is what is personally that I do is I keep up my promises. If I say I'll come, I'll come. If I say I'll do, I'll do. You know, what does that help me is because a person like you people in colleges, if you say that you will come and you don't come, then what big impact it will have? Let us assume that it's an event and you are going to do the MC, or let us say you are one of the participants in one of the skits. Just imagine if you don't turn up, what will happen. Similarly, at work also, when there is a deliverable, there is a 10-member team or a 2-member team, whatever big or small. If the person who says will come will not come, then business impact will be too much. So when you are getting future ready, you have to think of the self-analysis that you should do. If you ask me how frequently you should do, I will say every 3 months, because you'll know whether you're learning right, whether you are, in the right path, what extra things that you should do or you should not do. Everything comes in the self-analysis, right? So with this self-awareness, what you'll do, you'll manage to come across very nicely to people who think or who will give you the importance, and they say that you are dependable. They also will believe that you're very trustworthy. So all this is a major thing that will build the work relationships. Work relationships are very essential. If you ask me, I've built those that is coming this far and it's going to come, right? So these work relationships come with the first impression that I told you. Whenever you change jobs or wherever you go, it continues traveling with you. And then what happens is you'll take ownership, then you'll be responsible, then you'll definitely earn the trust, and they'll give you some tasks. They don't mind giving you some tasks that are additional to what you're doing. And if it's a holiday or something where there is an urgent deliverable, first one to reach out would be you, because you have earned that trust. So all this, especially when you take the first step, you are the proactive person. If you're the proactive person, you'll take the first step, and you'll not wait till you're asked. You'll do the task that is, uh, it's you know it, so you'll do it and ask for feedback, correct it, deliver it. So this is something that work relationships, that is how it is built, you know. So how well you treat your team members, or how well others, like managers, peers, how well you treat others is what something that work relationships build on. For example, nobody is seeing, so you don't do whatever you want when no one is seeing, right? You have to do genuinely, be very authentic in what you're doing, even when someone is not watching you. If it is an 8-hour job and you want to finish it in 6 hours, that's fine. But don't clock 8 hours because the tool says 8 hours a day. Just write a note saying I finished in 8 hours, 6 hours. In the next 2 hours, I did research, or I went to the next team, I went to a session. Do some notes where you'll come across as a very, very dependable person. And this will build your work relationships, whether it's junior, senior, whatever. This work relationships building is very, very important. So before I wind up, I want to just quickly summarize the points that you need to do to be future ready. First of all, build your behaviors properly, and that will carry you for the next 20. Don't wait to get noticed. Be proactive, take ownership, and let your talent speak. That's fine. At the same time, your behaviors should definitely speak better. So that is the next one. Adaptability is very important. I already gave you what it is. You relearn, learn, upskill, skill. Be adaptive. Encourage yourself to get into a good rapport with work relationships. And it's all about the trust that you develop. That is very important. Communicate with clarity. What I meant in my session, speak up. Ask the right questions, communicate effectively, communicate with clarity. That's also very important. And the last but not the least, self-analysis. Do self-analysis. I do it, and I want you to do it, because it will help you in asking yourself what are you learning, etc. Whatever I told you some time back, right? I don't want to repeat that, but I'll conclude. If you remember the opening story of mine, I didn't know. I didn't have any grand plans, right? And I didn't even know what HR eventually would mean to me. But I made the right choices. I ensured that I gradually built trust. I responded, I didn't react. And then I established a good rapport, that is work relationships. Then that is lasting till date, to be very honest with you. Then I took some tasks that were uncomfortable, that were of discomfort, that were something scary. These are all challenges that I didn't, go back and say, why did I take? I did take it, and I'm glad I took it. So All this, all what I said right now, all that done, today, when I take a call on talent, and when I conclude the performance appraisal discussions, when I mentor the leaders, I'm so happy and glad, thankful that I made the right choices. And I have built good behavior that's lasting and traveling and brought me this far, right? So it's just about building good behaviors. And I'm sure all of you who have listened to me this long, I'm very sure that if I can do, you will also be able to do it. Next 20 will be very easy if you do all this, right? Build your expertise, build your behaviors, ensure that you place your behaviors over your expertise. What I mean by it is performing well, getting your grades, everything is one side. Placing those behaviors is on one side. Ensure that you have a good balance, strengthen your behaviors, and I am very sure you will be very conscious about what sort of professional you are getting, you're in the making, and what sort of professional you want to be down the lane. Hey, good luck, everyone. Am I on time?
Yes, yes. So do we have any questions? Maybe you can put it up on the chat, and also the Q&A section. So your questions can be related to your career, your starting the interviews.
Riddhi, if you have run the poll in other questions, let me know. I can address those also. There is
Yeah,
a question.
there's a question before. So how to manage moonlighting when you're currently working somewhere?
My answer would be a firm no. It's a firm no. It is when you see, what do you mean? What's the name of the person?
Chintan.
So, what do you mean by moonlighting? First of all, tell me. Do you know the term, or you just asked your chat GPT? What is moonlighting according to you? Ask the person to raise a hand and answer. Unmute that person.
Uh, Chintan,
It's nothing intriguing. This is your feedback, okay?
um, Chintan, I have
Yeah,
unmuted.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I understood. He's saying working on a second job.
Okay.
This is legally not ethical, right? See, I told you several examples of being conscious about what you're doing. Be genuine about what you're doing. Be authentic to yourself first. You first please yourself, then later. Why? I don't mind when you do a side gig. I don't mind when you are doing a yeah, what do you call that? A freelance job or something like that, which is not related to the job that you're doing. It is so different. Second job is different. Side gig or side hustle is different. So I insist that I said a firm no for moonlighting, as in no second job. That is not ethical at all. If it is a conflict in interest with the organization you're working, it's a no, no, completely. However, your second gig or your second hustle is all about, maybe you have a passion for photography, maybe you have a passion to develop something in the FMCG, the fast moving consumer goods, provided you're not in a consumer goods organization. Then you develop something. If you have an entrepreneur spark, do what you can as a side gig, as a side hustle. It should not have conflict with the organization you're having. So there should not be a second job. I encourage side gig because it will give you financial continuity. It will give you some, uh, uh, it will give you a stress buster, right? You do something that is outside of your work and it will help you. I encourage side gigs, but definitely not a second job. Anything else?
Uh, I think nothing from Chintan. So we have another question. So Adesh Manik asks, I cannot lie, and honesty is not the best policy, but lying helps. So sometimes in interviews, but will honestly be rewarded, but will honesty be rewarded, and my experience is bad with honesty.
I somehow differ with what, who's that? Adesh, is it?
Yeah.
Somehow differ with this. See, there is some white lies that we parents say, right? We'll just say that, we say some white lies which doesn't impact or affect somebody's performance, or it doesn't impact someone's growth. It doesn't impact someone's mindset. It doesn't impact the wellness of that person. It doesn't intrigue somebody. Those are called white lies. I don't mind white lies, but definitely I will strongly say honesty will pay off. It may not have paid off immediately, but honesty will certainly pay off. It will be rewarded. I am saying that though delayed, it will be definitely rewarded. But telling lies, it's not being genuine to yourself. I strongly believe in honesty and I advocate honesty. And that's how you build trust, right? Everything is with trust. You see the vision, mission, and the values, core values. If you go to any company, small and big, the first thing will come as trust. The core value will come as trust. It's a no. You can't tell lies.
Yes. There's another question.
Uh-huh.
Currently, Devesh, he says that he's an MBA student in HR, and he has almost wasted 15 years in preparation of government jobs, but no experience as such. So, in the first years, should he focus on particularly one profile, or should we start doing whatever profile we get? What if I did not get the particular profile, example, learning and development?
Very good question. Very good question. Many of us go through this situation where we think, for whatever reasons, that government jobs are the best for us. Like any first jobs that we think is the best that come across, or the worst that came across, either of it. But still, there several situations will make us take that. I don't say that you have wasted. I will not say, because all this learning, I'm sure, even when you switch lines or in the career also, when you take a break and again get back to the routine of work, etc., what happens is you'll never unlearn any learning. So all the preparations that you have done, all that you need to do is connect. Connect in the job that you want to do. In the interview, when people ask you, then why are you coming to this job and why do you want this job? Just say that I have tried my level best and it didn't work. And now I'm exploring the plan B, which I should have, anyone will have. So I think he should just go ahead and take one profile and pitch himself in the industry. Otherwise, I will ask one more question, Devesh. Is it MBA HR and what? So if it is not learning and development, what is the next elective you have taken? Let me only say, if you have done marketing and you have done HR, business analytics, okay. So if it is not learning and development, definitely business analytics. You have to choose the roles that are coming up for both and ask yourself, what are you passionate about and which you will take forward in the next few years. Even if it's the right choice, you will have to ask yourself, I talk about the self-analysis, you will have to ask about yourself whether you're doing are you scaling up there, or do you want bigger roles? Or do you want to lead some bigger teams? Ask all these questions to yourself so that you can come back, you can switch. So if you don't get learning and development, don't be disappointed. If there are opportunities coming in any other line like business analytics or vice versa, switch to one first, and parallelly, if things are coming up on the second, please take it up. There's no harm in applying for both roles. Whether satisfaction will be there or not, that time has to tell. How open you are, how much of ownership you're taking. You are serious about your job. Whether it's the right job or wrong job, you decide later. But be serious about the job that you got. So I would answer that it's fine if you pitch for one profile. If any opportunity is coming for the next one, please apply and choose. If both of them turn up to be an offer letter for you, then do some pros and cons and decide which one to choose. Make a conscious choice. And I don't think we'll ever regret any choice, because that will be a learning only. It will not be something that will dip us. So all that you have done for 15 years, please think that it's a plus, it's not a minus. Please think that they are all learnings that you learn to connect in your jobs. Go back and see the resources that you have gone through. See what you'll apply if it is learning and development. See what you'll apply if it is business analytics. I hope I answered your question.
Yes. We have another question from Sandeep. He says, like about time management and overcommitment as a fresher. What would you suggest? There, I mean, just that about time management, overcommitment as a fresher. We often do that, like we overcommit and we are not able to manage time. It is based on that, like as a fresher.
Just go back to what I spoke in the session. I told you that if you are doing something more than the tasks that you're assigned, ensure that doesn't impact your work. You are on time for your work. So overcommitting, I don't think anyone should do. You have to overcome that. You have to see that as your first area of improvement. You have to commit something that is genuinely possible. And that again, I'll connect back to self-analysis. Ask yourself, are you able to do that? And will you be able to do in that particular window of time? Time management is all about how you channelize your energies. Time management is all about putting a focus on the right place instead of distracting and diffusing. Right? So if you're overcommitting, you'll have to work on it. You have to analyze on your own self, where did you make a mistake? Where did you make an overcommitment? And ensure that you take support, ask. There's no harm in saying, I don't know. Even today, I'll say, I don't know. I don't mind learning. So there's no harm in saying, I don't know. There's no harm in asking support. There's no harm in asking, where am I going wrong? So if you are thinking that you are overcommitting, then please channelize your energies, analyze what is overshooting. Work on it, work on it.
We'll go to a next question. So this is from Vijay Kumar. He says, I have 2 years of experience in teaching and currently I'm looking for a data analyst job. So should I showcase my experience in resume?
You have to be honest you can't just say, even the ATS will know when you have cleared your master's or bachelor's and when is your first job. That itself will reject saying you have a career break. It will not connect whether it's relevant to the current job. So I would suggest that you write what you did. And when it comes to selection process, you make a note in your covering letter saying that you're looking for your career shift. You're looking to switch lines. In your covering letter, you ensure that you mention why you're going into the data analyst job. And are you prepared? I want to ask Vijay Kumar, are you prepared for taking up this job? Say that also, like what course have you done? How prepared are you? This is very important to know that the person who is reviewing your profile will not discount your faculty experience. They will understand that you realize the maturity levels that you have now has allowed you to look at the plan B of your career and you worked on it. Have I answered your question?
He has mentioned that he's currently doing masters.
Okay.
Yeah. We have another question from another Vivek. He says like, ma'am, I have attended 2 interviews till date, and for both in the last technical round, I got rejected. So when try to come back and focus again, I'm still stuck at there and not able to recover myself. How should I move on and take risk and convince myself to overcome this phase?
Technical round, both the interviews, technical round got rejected.
Yes.
So whatever the platform is or whatever the languages that you're coding or you are attempting to, make sure that you updated yourself in that. See what else others are doing. Speak to people, speak to seniors in that line, whoever is working in that line. Talk to people and understand technologically where you are, and just like that they won't reject. There should be something wrong in what you have technically done, right? So I would like you to do 3 things. One, please speak to someone who is in the same line. You just analyze to yourself whether is it the time, did you submit properly, or was there any technological glitch somewhere, or anything external that I talked about in my career, like in your 2 interviews, whether there was some external factors like technological glitches that you faced, you were not able to submit, or you had some external problems that didn't allow you to submit. So analyze what went wrong. If you think that you went right, then the second thing that you should do is ask your seniors, this is what my interview was like, where should I improve? It's all about improvement, and it's all about working on the feedback. If you don't get feedback, then if you don't ask the right people for the feedback, who will wish that you grow, who will wish well for you. So don't get demotivated because you're rejected. Just work on what might have gone wrong. Don't assume, ask. If you're assuming this would have gone wrong, maybe you're wrong totally. Ask a set of people who are doing that kind of a job. Tell them what the interview was like. If it was a tool test, what we call it as a test which you will complete, like if mechanical people, what they do a drawing or a drafting tool test in the a work environment. What went wrong? Just ask. Don't get demotivated. See, rejection is part and parcel of our career. And you want to give up sometimes. I had so many. Recently also, I wanted to just give up. I was like thinking, I am done. But I just bounced back. I said, I challenged myself. Like that, you should challenge yourself. If you challenge yourself, what will happen? You will bounce back and you will not be dejected. Taking risks, Riddhi, just one more line of taking risks. Take risks that are not impacted on what I said about the lie. What the same thing, the risks also, it should not impact or affect something big with whom you're around and in the business that you're in. So you take risks, but very calculated risks.
Gita, there's another question. I just you were answering this question about the 2 years experience of teaching. So there's another student, she's asked like Asha Rani, that while we change do transition from roles and professions, so there is always a thing that we do not want to show the past experience. So their cumulative experience, which can also impact the compensation. So in this way, like how should one position their prior experience to ensure that it is valued appropriately, like?
I'll just make it into 2 pieces, 2 answers. First one is, I want you to be quite genuine about the number of years of experience, whether it's relevant to the job or not relevant to the job, for sure. And the second thing is, in the compensation area, What normally happens these days globally, they have a band for every role that they are, hiring. So if your cumulative experience is not actually, if you think that your compensation may impact because your cumulative experience to the relevant experience is not enough and you may get less paid, it is wrong, because most of the companies have bands, and you will come to a stage where you'll be talking to the HR person who is going to talk to you about compensation. You clear your doubts there. Just because I'm saying there are bands, it doesn't mean that you go back and say, do you have bands? That's the wrong question. Asking the right question is, listen first. Find out what they're offering to you. And across the table, try to understand, not negotiate, but try to understand. Ask such a question that in a subtle way saying, is this cumulative experience not compensating me enough? And then if they ask you, do you have any other question? You can simply ask, it will be nice to know if, because I'm starting with a low pay, do you think it will impact me in my promotion? That also is possible. So if your cumulative experience in relevant experience is not matching, don't worry. If your overall experience, in teaching or any other profession you have been in, just go ahead and declare what you have done and make sure you are writing a cover letter. Each job application needs a different cover letter. You see what you're signing up for, first of all, and then you write your cover letter. And then you write your strength over there saying, though I did so and so job in the first 2 years, I am sure this will help me in this. So for showcasing your strength as to what this next job will look at, you need to do some research and see what of those strengths will apply to you. Take me, for example, I ensured that my previous first few years of skills, capabilities, that academics, everything, I ensured I connected, and I connected it right. So do a research of how you can connect it and present yourself like that.
So thank you, Geeta, for answering that. Asha, I hope you got your answers. We'll quickly go to our next question, and I think we can just end the session there. So there's a person who is asking, is it okay to switch the company within the first 1 or 2 years in the early careers?
I would prefer not 1 year. 1 year is too early. If you're in the mid of your career and if you think that, let us say you're in your 5 to 6 years and you are just done with your 1 year and you realize that your capabilities and skills are not mapping to the next scale up and your career path that you are trying to, then definitely I will definitely say make correct choices. But if you're the first job and the first year, I think applying for the next job within a year is not advisable, because you'll take first 6 months to understand what the business is all about. You'll understand the culture, you'll understand what actually the work is, right? Then where is the question? First of all, that thought should not come. If that thought has come, please go and do some self-analysis. Why has it come? 2 years, decent. Like 2 years, you'll definitely be mature enough to think positively about what you should do. 1 year, first job, 1 year. I'm seriously telling you, you'll take 6 months to 1 year to understand where you are. So shifting another job is a remark, not a mark.
Uh, there's one last question. I think this is related to the 2 years, what you said. So there are a lot of companies which ask for bonds, and there's a person, he says that what if the company is asking to deposit a 50K check or 2-year bond came in the college for internship plus PPO? So is it good to join such companies?
This is a policy, right? I will not be able to comment on a policy, on a policy about bond, on a policy about a deposit of money. It all depends on the personal self, whether we trust the company, we trust ourselves to do the 2 years. It all depends on how you look at that particular job. Keep aside that bond. You keep aside the 50K or whatever K. Just keep it aside. Just go through what I told you in the session. Just analyze, are you ready to sign up for that particular job? Are you capable of doing that job? Will you survive your 2 years over there? Ask yourself, do good to yourself first. Why you're thinking of bond and deposits and all. First, see what you're signing up for. Be serious about your, first 2 years. Don't go by someone. Don't ask someone and decide. Ask for options, like now you're asking. Like, ask for options, but take your decision. By taking your decision, you're making yourself responsible for your own decision. You see what I'm saying? So don't bother about the bond. Don't bother about the amount you're depositing. Trust yourself first. See what you're signing up for. See whether you're capable of being there. What will it take you from there? Ask yourself all these questions. Riddhi, I'm coming back to the self-analysis, right? That is what will make us think properly. If you're confused, you'll not think. If you don't think, you'll do wrong decisions. This uncertainty will come if you don't manage like this, it'll give you wrong decisions. Just ask yourself whether you are good to be there. If you're good to be there, just go ahead. Forget about the policy, forget about what you're investing. Take the options, take your decision. Options can be parents, options can be your faculty, options can be people like me, anyone. But take your decision. Don't decide depending on others.
Yes. Um, mm, that is really thank you so much, Geeta, for answering that. Devesh, I hope you got your answer. And to all the other students as well, I think choosing your first organization is something really important. And how you choose, how you select, it is all based on you. So I think that was a really amazing session. Thank you, everybody. And thank you, Geeta, so much on behalf of Pod team and also Dwente Cloud. I would like to thank you for sharing your experiences and bringing so much clarity in every point what you made today, and also some of the honest reflections of your life, your experience, what you shared. And thank you so much for that. And to all the students also, I hope you had an amazing session listening to Geeta. And you don't need to have everything figured out, but the way you should up in your first 2 years is quite that will shape your entire 20 years. So I think you have got a lot of answers from her today, and this will also help in some sort of a direction, also bring in some confidence and a different perspective also, I guess. So because a lot of us, we do not understand like the basic things, we just follow the herd, like what others are doing, we tend to do that. So I think this was some kind of an enlightening session for all of us. So thank you so much, Geeta, for enlightening us again. And this was
One
really an amazing
last
session.
mantra I would like to tell Riddhi
Yes,
to
sure.
all those people who want to take the first job, what we get, depending on our situations, we need the job for sure. We are taking it, right? Don't be disappointed that it is the wrong job. Just internally go through what are the positions coming up. So once you earn the trust with the first year and you're establishing your work relationships, what is happening here is you will immediately be spotted internally for the next role. If you're not spotted, you will be in a position to pitch yourself, and then the first job which you think is the wrong job will turn out to be a good job.
Yes.
Make sense?
Yes, yes.
Internal job postings are very important.
Yes, I mean, I think that comes with also with an experience also. A lot of students do join the organization. They work for years together, maybe 1 or 2 years, and then they are also shifted internally because somebody else finds them out relevant for their team. So that is also something which
That
happens.
is the answer for the person who was talking about data analytics also, like, it is the answer for that person also. Join, and then if learning and development options come up, sign up for that and ask yourself in. No harm. You won't lose your job if they don't select you in that, right? You're still in the job.
Yes. Yes. So thank you so much again. And just quickly sharing a feedback form to all of you all. Maybe you can just fill it and then maybe we can end the session. So thank you so much, Geeta. Again, this was really nice listening to you.
Been my pleasure also, Riddhi. I
Yes.
will again thank Mentor Cloud and Pod AI for giving me an opportunity to talk about this topic, which is so close to my heart, 2 to 20.
Uh, Maybe just everybody, if you're leaving the session, can you just put your thoughts in a feedback form? It'll help us also.
I
Uh,
just talk about feedback, so they should.
yes. Maybe if you are done, maybe you can just put a thumbs up and I'll also then end the session then.
Do you have any questions, Riddhi?
There was this girl who asked about the question of the cumulative years of experience. That was something like I also picked it from that. So that was helpful. So
It's always to decide on the compensation. It's priority for everybody, but never get into any job with the feeling that you're underpaid.
Mhm.
It will not help you enjoy the job that you're doing. That is what I mean by being genuine to yourself. If you're
Yes.
knowing what you're signing up for, just enjoy doing it. Then when the time comes, appropriate time comes, ask the right questions. And being honest with our experience is always good.
And also one point I want to put it up, like how you said that the way of asking the question, like we cannot directly go and ask, Acha, what is the kind of a band what you offer, or maybe what is your at a very starting stage when a lot of students do ask this question. So I think even the hiring managers also get offended that why is this student or the kid, I mean, who is just entering the organization is already discussing about the payments. So that is the something like it's like I think it's like a red flag for somebody who is hiring.
Absolutely, absolutely. If you are a performer, you'll get rewarded, you'll get spotted, you'll be highlighted as a dependable person, and that will automatically show in your performance appraisals and raises, right? Just have to wait for the right time to ask the right question.
So Geeta, I'll just end the session.
Sure.
Ayushi, if you can end the YouTube live as well and also the session. I hope everybody has filled the form. Geeta, you were saying something?
I was thanking Ayushi also for
Yes.
the YouTube live. I'm glad.
Uh,
Ayushi, do you have any questions before we end? You end the YouTube live, no problem. But if you have